Hi, I'm Beckar Wozat. Welcome to a special episode of Cubic Chunks. I want to look around this world for a second. This is a specially made world. I just created it. I'm using 1.12.2 and I'm using a special version of Cubic Chunks that's got a special new feature that hasn't yet been added to a regular build. I just want to look at this. You can create all kinds of worlds with Cubic Chunks, as you'll see here. You've got very, very interesting worlds that have orthogonal sections. You've got, you'll remember the normal world I uses a special cubic, a special kind of lumpy terrain. And this has some rather angular terrain. There's all kinds of things you can make. This would be this kind of world would be a lot of fun to hang around in a boat. In fact, let's make a boat. Let's see. Give myself a boat here. Give Wozat Minecraft boat. Oh. Well, you'll have to take my word for it that you could do a lot of traveling. Maybe we'll be here in a future series if the current series peters out. Let's see what we got over here. Got some nice, beautiful colors. Yeah, we got light shining through because this doesn't go very far up. It only goes up to about 275, 249, 250, something like that. All kinds of great terrain. Now, when I set this up, when I set this world up the first time, some months ago, Bartex took one look at the screenshot of this crazy world and said, "It can't be played." And I said, "What do you mean it can't be played?" Of course it can be played. Now I'm in peaceful mode because I'm just looking at this. I'm not going to play it. But you can just see, you can see clearly that there's all kinds of great things about this. It's just very angular. Everything looks like a bunch of canals and a bunch of floating platforms. It's really cool. And yes, we got some nice caves. Actually, the caves are rather ordinary. But through here, more of the same. Anyway, we're getting a bit laggy because, you know, we haven't generated the world before and we're not used to it. I usually get the world to generate a little bit before I start playing it. But we're going to show you something really cool, which is why we're doing this special. Okay, we're going to show you how to make the a map that's identical, or not perfectly identical, mind you, with the Cubic Chunks video series with all those undulating hills and such. If you should ever want to do this very thing. Well, the first thing you want to do is you want to set render distance to something less than 16. It doesn't matter what, because we're going to have to set them back to 16 when we start the world. Otherwise, it won't work at 16. You could get 8. You could get 8 by Godzilla. I mean, you could get 8 render distance, vertical distance. I don't know if you could go beyond that. I don't know if it's properly set that way. Not too important. I am using Optifine, but yes, we're not all about the Optifine, so we're not all about the other things. But we're not going to mess with Optifine here. I wanted to check resource packs here. Yeah, we got resource packs. Vader's Alternative, Faithful, and I've modified Faithful slightly to have extra things. It's not a big deal. Okay, I hate that it says Java Edition, by the way. The real problem with that is it's like they've marginalized the one true Minecraft that has all the best mods and just saying, oh, it's just Java. You know, we're deprecating Java piece by piece. Well, that might work if you're going to actually replace it with something better. But what's better about a Windows 10 Pocket Edition, whatever you want to call it, that doesn't have all the mods? And this is 1.12, and they're about to release 1.13. 1.13 snapshots have already come out. Unfortunately, we don't have those working on multi-MC. All right, so let's get into the setup. Now we got a test, which is the world we were just in, and I'll show you that later if I get a chance. But let's create a new world. We'll call it Video Series. Okay, we can talk about these. Now, here Cubic Chunks adds a thing here called Cubic Chunks Yes. Now the problem is when it comes to vanilla creation. World type default, super flat, large biomes, amplified, and customized. That vanilla generation is pretty much the same as it would be under normal circumstances. And all Cubic Chunks Yes does is gives it an understanding that there will be cubic chunks above and below. I mean, the whole thing is cubic chunks, but it's just the way it's all generated. It uses a vanilla generation method, and this just allows for building stuff above and below, and the whole thing is cubic. Flat cubic is the same thing as regular cubic, but now we have a new method of showing layers, and you add layers, remove layers, you select blocks, you get the change. Look at that. But it's just a list of vanilla blocks. Give it doors. What the heck? That would be very funny. This isn't a complete set, is it? I don't know. These aren't all the different variants, I don't think. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, I messed up. Yes, we all mess up. Everywhere we go, we still mess up. Okay, so custom cubic, that's the one we want because it's got all the special features we want. Okay, here's where it gets complicated. Now, most of these things don't work yet, even now. Even now, they don't work yet. Dungeon count will give you more or less dungeons. Dungeons works. Lava lakes, I think they work, but I haven't seen one in my current map. But I believe I've seen one in other maps. Water lakes, yeah. Biome size, yes, that does change. Water level, yes, you want to change water level. Maybe you could do that. River size, same thing. I like to go with bigger rivers, but that's not a really big deal. It's just a minor deal. But just because this is checked doesn't mean you're going to get woodland mansions or ocean monuments or temples, because these things are larger than one chunk, and so you're not likely to get them because they haven't been implemented yet, but they will be implemented if everything goes well and smoothly. This allows you to just select one biome if you just want a world of one biome, and you can do that. Not a bad idea. These settings are rather ordinary. Now down here it says presets, and it allows you to have a preset of the whole thing. And you could cut and paste, and so you can mess around with that in a text file if you want to mess with it in a text file. And you can change all the values. Page 2 will give, it's like the customized version. It's got all these different things. Dirt, gravel, But then down here we got diamond, and then we got lapis lazuli. But lapis lazuli doesn't work perfectly. They try to be close to vanilla, but it's not 100%. There have been problems generating it. It doesn't matter too much, really. Emeralds are not given, but I don't think emeralds were given in regular vanilla customized mode. But it has to be said that emeralds are a special case. In the future, there will be ore settings where we can add the ores. So we'll be able to click on new ores and be able to look at things. But this hasn't been done yet. This will be done much later. Probably around the time either before or after alpha gets released. This is not yet alpha, so anything is liable to be changed. Now the next thing is going to surprise you. There's a graphic. Now this graphic is not currently on any version of Cubic Chunks that is regularly available. This is a special edition that it's going to be made available very shortly. So by the time you see this, it will probably have been out. You can move it up, down, left, right. You can use the scroll wheel, increase or decrease. I don't know what the range is on this thing, and I don't really want to find out. Oh, but this is good. You got the biomes up there. You can mess with the biome scale if you want to, although I don't know if that is the same thing as biome size in the previous page. And biome offset lets you look elsewhere. And I notice it also seems to be moving the... Yeah, you'll notice the terrain looks different depending on where you place this stuff. Now watch this. Height variation. I like that it changes it in real time. Okay, look at this now. Whoa! Are you sure you want to play a game where you can go up thousands and thousands of blocks we don't even know how far? That's a lot, isn't it? Yeah, it doesn't look very playable, does it? And so, back down to, what was it, 64? Yeah, this goes up to infinity. No, it doesn't go up to infinity. It would otherwise go up to infinity. It's everyone. These sliders are from Melissus Core, by the way. And before you say anything, it is divine to look at. We're going to. Well, I'd like to turn off the biome thing, but never mind that. Okay, so this is all really well and good and really, really surprising. Yeah, let's just do this. It doesn't matter. You could just mess with any of these. You know, they all do different things. Create one of those crazy ones like this. Yes, sir. Or we could set it back to... Well, what was it set? Oh, wait, there we are. It's hard to get it right. Now, some pick... This one, there's a bunch of them that go to infinity or other numbers, and they try to give numbers that are close to round numbers or something close to round numbers, 65536, for example, 0, and so forth. They do this because, well, they want you to be able to select things, but sometimes it doesn't work perfectly. If you're having trouble getting the pixel you want, you can change the values under presets. Like I said, you can put it into a text file and modify it there. And if not, you can try using a larger resolution. If you do this in 1080p, it's got more pixels here, so you can look at more options. That's perfectly fine. Now we got height variation. You can play with the sliders to get different values, you know. So height variation will control that. Height controls height as well. Depth noise is interesting. Look at this. Nothing. Why was it nothing? I forgot why. I forgot why it was nothing. Anyway, this is the X coordinates, so if you're wondering. So we got depth noise, that just gives you different noises. A selector noise does another one. 11969. Just gives you different possibilities. It just chops away bits and pieces. And the low noise gives you a bunch of things, and the high noise. The low and the high noise are two separate things, and this offset is 0.5 because it means there's a 50% chance, it's between 0 and 1, that this and this are to be selected. The offset here is for the individual variety. So if this happens more, you could give it an extra weight to how much more often it's going to do the low noise than the high noise, and so on and so forth. But we can't deal with that right now. What we're going to do is we're going to make the one from the video series. So what we start is with the height variation. Go up to the top. And yes, if you want to, if you don't want to mess with this, you can just turn off preview and it'll just go down here. But we want preview visible on. Okay, so first we set this up to maximum. Now you might say, well, hold on a tick. If we set that to maximum, isn't that going to be a problem? And the answer is it is a problem. Yes, it is a problem. If you've got it like that. But let me show you something here. We're going to set, we got, the other ones are okay. Height is set to 32. Nope, I went too far. Height being 32, I don't remember why I selected that. In fact, I don't know why I did any of these, so don't ask me what my reasoning was. I worked on this months ago. Depth noise, periods are okay. Vector of 512. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. We can't do 512, so we'll do 500 even, which is as close as we could do under the circumstances. You can set it to 512. I probably set it to 512 in 1080p. Octave 16, so that's fine. Selector noise, factor of 0.1. Not 0. I guess 0 could be done. Let's see why it couldn't be done. We got it set to 0.1, okay? Now we set number of And we said offset to 0.5. We got it to 0.5. Okay, 200, 80, and 20. Now what's this doing? Well, this is just changing the nature of the noise. It does the same here, but you don't see it because this is Z coordinate and not the X coordinate. And this goes down to 80, so it should stretch it out a little bit. Okay, it's getting much better on that. Why is octave set to 8? It should be 16. Alright, let's change it to 16. Okay. Moving a little closer, we get to see something here. Okay, so low noise is now again 280, 200, so we just raise this slightly. And this slightly, and this down to 80. Now watch the stretch effect. Or the unstretch effect. Now we didn't have this until recently, so I'm not used to looking at this as it happens, but it's really cool to look at. And what I love about it is it's going to make generating these worlds so much easier, isn't it? Now, octave set to 1. That gives it the smoother look to everything. Oh, look at that. That was a very strange thing. Then we set factor to 0.05, so it's going to really stretch it out. .05. We can't get it exact. That's fine. Now for the high noise, we're going to have 1024 for the factor. It's all the way to the right. You could go beyond 1024 if you want to, but you have to do that in the config. Set to 200. And set down to 80. Watch this. Well, this is very volatile. And there's the result. But we left one thing out. The octaves has to, again, go down to 1. And there you go. That should be everything. Now, we could zoom around and we can see all kinds of strange shapes and things. Look at that, huh? That's pretty cool. You know, there's a lot of straight lines and little funny curvy whirls and little hidden areas and stuff. And now we're done. Now we're going to... I forgot what the seed was. So we're not going to do the seed. We're going to just do let's create the world as is. Here we go. Now here's the thing. Here's one of the dirty secrets of Cubic Chunks. It takes a long time. If you've got other mods hooked up that have several different worlds being that could get generated by these other mods, it'll have to create every single one of these worlds beforehand. That is to say, the data for all these worlds. It can take a very long time. So we'll fast forward. We'll be out of here in a sec. So it's been about 3 minutes later, maybe 4 minutes later, and it still hasn't finished loading. This is unfortunate. When it first creates the world, it does take a little time, and it is worth waiting for. It really is. But it doesn't make a very good video. I really can't say anything about that. Should be done by now, though. Let's say now. Okay, it's generated. Oh, we got... Hold on. We gotta set it to peaceful because we can't fight the creatures right now. And while we're here, we can set that render distance to 16. It only works when you join the game. You can set it to 16 right after you join the game. If it's already 16 though, it won't work, so you gotta set it down and then back up. That's basically it. The first thing you gotta do, get out of the way of the get out of the way of the falling gravel if there is any. Oh man, that was awful. There's really nothing you can do. That's vanilla behavior, is that sometimes the gravel actually... And then some gravel falls on mushrooms and then just sits around like that. You've got that. Okay, unfortunately this is not, again, this world is not loaded yet fully, so if you want to look at something, if you want something to load faster, you can zoom in on it with Optifine. If you're not running Optifine, that's fine. Don't run Optifine. But then it does that. You've probably seen me do. What is wrong with that? Those are not loading. Those chunks are not loading. There's still some problems with some chunks don't load. They load eventually, but you gotta wait. But if you go there, you'll get stuck in them. It's the cows. Hi, cows. And there you go. Just like that. Another really great map. With all the kinds of crazy curves and everything you've come to know and love. And there's stuff being thrown around. Map still not loading. Well, it's still... Now, how would we get across there, for example? We'd have to climb up to the top. And there's no way to climb up to the top without pillaring up or digging up or... And then we got those that are coming into view. More areas over there. And so you can pretty much see that we've made one of these. Now, how are we going to do the other one? Well, let's show you. Now, as you saw, we had test 1. That was what I was playing earlier. So let's look at test 1. The way to do that is you type recreate. Copy of test 1, that's fine. Seed was 77. That can be changed, obviously. The number doesn't actually matter. Customize. Now we can look at the customize, and now we can see what we've done. We got the wrong river size, but that doesn't matter. Now here you can see what it looks like, and now we can mess with this, and we can change some of these. Oh, it goes up higher. I thought it only went up to like 240 or stuff. The ones that look like little circular or rather regular, those are areas that are just an individual, that they're actually running along the z-axis, but the straight long ones are running on an x-axis. And this is very fascinating. I think I'll be messing with this. Maybe I can find a better option. Here's the stats. If you wanna make this yourself, I'll give you 5 seconds on that. You can freeze frame it if you want, and then down here, another couple seconds. You can freeze frame that if you want there. And of course, I'll be messing with this maybe for some future video series, maybe not. I have a lot of testing to do, but it has nothing to do with Cubic Chunks right now. I gotta test other things. And so that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of Cubic Chunks, and I hope it helps you to see how to make better maps on it. Remember, you will need Molysis Core, as well as the mod itself. And you can join the Discord and see more about, get more information on how to download the mods if you don't have the mods yourself. And thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.